Welcome back once again to another analysis replay submission. This time it's going to be a little bit different because, as you can see on the screen, this is going to be a team game. It's sent in by the team that loses this, and I believe it's Gaben's Army are the team that lose this game early on. And as it's only as a team, I'm going to judge it as a team, so you'll see an overhead sort of view and talking about the general things. But we'll go through what they said about themselves and how they think they played. The jungler said he played badly. I wasn't there to support my team most of the time, and I don't think I had an impact on the game. My jungle was also stolen a lot during this game. Okay, solo, not very well. I went out of tower too much. Out of tower too much. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. Mid, not too great. AD carry, not brilliantly, especially in the mid game. Okay, support subpar. So you're all like downtrodden on yourself, but what I would like you to do is try and pick out the good qualities that you did in your play as well, not just your negativities. Because like I know it's how you think you played, but try and have some sort of positive about it. What aspects of the game did you struggle with? Jungle, when to help my team, when to farm, and when to gank. Solo, mana conservation. Didn't make full use of the passive. I think I have rotated earlier sometimes. Mid, mana conservation. Dealing with poke in lane, engaging at the right time. Ready carry, mid game team fights, and support was farming and leeching. What aspects of the game did you feel comfortable with? Jungle, helping my team late game at the last defense of the Titan. I thought I was actually doing something. Solo said mid game when my clear got much better and after laning phase when I didn't have to stay in my lane. Mid, I knew my role and what I should be doing. AD carry, farming, and support said rotations. Now what I'm going to do is going to break this down as a sort of overview of watching this as a team game. I'm not going to go into individual play. There's plenty of replays of analysis now that are out there covering the roles and how you should be able to conserve your mana at least, or at least, you know, use your skills effectively and when to rotate, when not to rotate, things like that. So this I'm going to kind of look over it from a standpoint from above the game. This is my kind of camera view that I use when I commentate, so you'll have to get used to it. I mean, I could bring it in easier, but I prefer it this size at the start. So before we'll totally begin, I'll pause again for a second and we'll just have a quick look through who's actually in this game and who's on what side. So the team in question is going to be the right hand side, I believe. I don't know why the right hand side. So we can see Trukax in the jungle, Subdesert, Vulcan mid, Epic Boys going to be playing Rama, Gab, and Chuck. Now, this is the team that we're going to be looking at for the whole of this game, and this is the one we want to focus on, okay? So, let's have a look at your lane matchups first of all, to work out what should be happening in each of the lanes. Sylvanas Apollo versus Geb and Rama. Who should win the push war? Well, it should be Apollo and Sylvanas win that push war dominantly in that lane. Rama's got pretty good wave clear, and with the help of Geb, they should be able to farm under tower very, very safely. So the wave clear is going to be pushed under tower early on in the game. Mid lane, we're going to see Vulcan up against Ra. Now, Vulcan versus Ra is interesting depending what you start at the beginning of the game. Ra can get the push on if Vulcan doesn't skill necessarily correctly or kill the minions correctly, but Ra should have the early clear just because he's got those heals on, which means Vulcan should be pushed under tower for the most part, or at least even in this lane in terms of keeping it middle. So for the time being, we'll class this as a middle lane, but it's probably pushing this way too. And then we'll check out solo lane. Well, at the start, it's going to be a Loki up against a Chuck. Chuck dominates this lane early on. Really, really can put the pressure on early on in this lane. With Thor and Chuck versus Loki and Freya, then it should realistically be Chuck and Thor's lane during the early stages of the game. This is how this game goes down. This is how the game plays, but that's what to expect. Now, if you know that, you should be able to walk into this game and have an understanding about what's possibly going to happen during the game. So, if your duo lane is going to get pushed, probably, and your solo lane is going to get pushed, there's always a threat of invades. And that's what the jungler mentioned, that you were worried about getting invaded early on. Well, that's probably because there's a threat of invades going on because of your laners, which means you should be rotating quicker out of this lane to make sure you can cover it or have it warded. The good news is you do have it warded here, so you have some sort of vision of this, which is good. Can I speed this up a bit? No, I can't. I can just do this. There we go. Just looking at ebb and flow of the two lanes, as you can see, they're pushing in the duo lane. In the solo lane, we're just going to have a farm off pretty much. Jack and Thor can be a little bit more aggressive in this lane. There's not a whole lot of Freya and Loki can do. That's a little bit better from them. A little bit better as you had the minion push, you pushed him away. As soon as you see Freya rotate Thor, this is Thor staying now for this wave, by the looks of it. If Thor stays for this wave and Freya rotates, then the chance of ganks are, chance of invades are likely. Talking about invades, this should have been noticed. Like, this should have been known by everybody this was going on right now. Like, Geb and Rama should know that is going on. The invade on the red buff is there and available. Vulcan, I can't do too much in mid lane because he's also pressured effectively in this mid lane. Looks like he's taking a little bit more poke than he should have done now. Should be able to avoid those Celestial Beams, not group up with your minions. He has to prioritise minions or you. He can't do both. Or you just ate a lot of auto attacks. So this invade's coming. So what do you do in this situation? Well, you either counter back and deal with it, or you do this. These guys should be pushing this lane really hard right now. They should really push this all the way to the tower and try and pressure this full wave into the tower to relieve the pressure a little bit, try and deny him a little bit. Thor has the opportunity now to either go aggressive in the jungle. Thor against Freya early game, it's all Thor. Thor's very, very strong early on. He can look to invade the red buff. You know she's not done the red buff because it's still available right now. These are the options. Now with Freya's rotation earlier than Thor's, there's not a whole lot you can really do. The good news is Freya doesn't get any experience from that.
Pity for you, I am not a goddess of mercy.
We're checking with the duo lane, they've not pushed it hard enough. You know, he should not pushed it hard enough. They could have punished that Sylvanas there as well. That Sylvanas getting punished should have been a little bit more than that, but it is Syl, so it's not going to be too hard to kill. And once again, they've got the pressure on you. The pull was good. Thor's rotation here, let's see how this plays out. This is a good opportunity for you to actually try and get a pick on these guys, because they're grouped up. He's just used his heal as well, still both level 4, and Thor needs this farm as well, so he should be looking for the farm, but for the kill as well. Why did you back out? Don't know why you backed out of this engagement here. I'm not sure why you would do this. You want to be here for two reasons in this lane now. One, to relieve pressure on the lane, because Geb's looking to back because he's very low HP, has to stay safe. But at the same time, you want to be coming to this lane to soak the experience, to get yourself to level 5, ready for mid camps. The longer you don't do this, the longer you're not going to hit level 5, because look at your jungle. What's available? You've got this at the moment. You've got one back Harpy camp. Is that going to be enough to make you 5? Nope, I don't think it will be. You've also missing the wave in mid lane because you rotated over here. So because you're not in the wave for mid, means that you're going to miss hitting 5 as well. Look at Freya at the moment, just check her in. Level 4, check her out. She's still got half a jungle still remaining to clear as well. So she will hit level 5 pretty quickly. You should have stayed in that lane. You should have attempted gank, relieve the pressure, and farm 2. Once again, there's pressure in the mid lane. I hope to see a gank go off here. Double tap was okay. Do we have wall? Why don't we just wall there? Why don't we just wall? If you would have walled him into the tower range, you could have hit the double tap for free, kept him pinned, and allowed the chase. The poke was good though. You picked up some farm from it, so it's okay. As you can see, it's a little bit different this one compared to Ignoring. Now, mid camps are spawning. Thor's still not 5. He's gone to do back hobbies to get 5. And Dazzler got pushed in mid lane on this Vulcan. He's been pushed in so much and spammed his ability so much to try and deal with this wave push that he's not been able to sustain his mana. What probably should have happened here is Vulcan should have focused on the archer minions most of the time when it comes into tower range like this and let the melee minions drop. It just means that you can poke them down easier, quicker, and you're not spamming all your mana. You've had a rough start to the lane. Just checking in with Duo right now, so Solo right now. Chuck's still doing fine in this. Chuck's build at the moment. Okay, the build's fine for the start of the game. You can put the aggression on early. Take into account what you're up against. You probably want to get some tankiness online at some point. We'll see. Maybe a Witchblade would be pretty good. Witchblade would be good against Freya for sure and Apollo. Duo lane's just still getting pushed into the tower. Now, Geb's only level 3 because he's been denied farm because he was away from the tower. Plus the fact that mid harpies are spawning, he's not in a position to do these. Sylvanas is rotating earlier. The sniping mid lane Dazzle, you should have seen that. Vulcan should have seen that one coming, really. That means lefts are not contestable, okay? These are not contestable by any stretch of the imagination. Chuck's pushed up by Loki. Thor's only just hit... Thor's still not level 5. And Geb should not be coming for these at all. So they're going to get lefts, and it looks like they might get rights as well. Maybe Thor can make something happen. Not actually sure who got them. Did Thor get him with a double tap? Looks like it by the experience. That's good. Alright, so this early game you're all behind. You're all behind because all your lanes are losing and Thor's not ganking. Thor's not ganking because he lost his buff and he's still not hit 5 yet. If Thor would have ganked, this would have relieved a lot of pressure on this team, but now it's not. Not a bad rotation over for this Apollo. Unfortunately, you can't get anything else out of it. Geb, you really need to soak experience here. The big plan here is to get in the experience range. Walk up here. Walk up here. Get around here. Walk up and get in the experience range. Zone him out a little bit. Are you playing so passive? Rama can't really do anything. And look how brave Apollo is right now. He's like, yo, this Geb doesn't want to fight me at all. And you use your shockwave just on him. It's not worth it. Not a good use of mana. Chuck's getting bullied in his lane a little bit. What's Chuck's gold like? We got 1300 gold right now. Freya's here to rotate in to protect the Loki because Loki's low on mana too. Loki's looking to back here. You should see this one coming. So hopefully we can do a full wave clear and leave. You don't have your hog available. Clear the back minions. Don't focus on the front ones. Clear the back ones. Gotta clear the back ones. They're the ones that deal the damage. They're the ones that you'll actually get gold for. Now you're not going to get gold from any of them because every single one's going to get hit by the tower. Staying in lane for your blue's risky. Although, get the blue and base. You have to base and get Thor to hold your lane now. This will help Thor out. Now you get invaded on the left-hand side as well. I've not really seen Thor gank yet. Looks like Raz killing people in mid lane again as well. This is really rough. Did you see that? 1 second. I just need to rewind that and check that back. If Freya's rotation was noticed by Thor. I think it was actually. I think it was. You see her. You see her in the jungle here, so you know this rotation's coming. I don't know why you're staying in tower range either, Vulcan. You should just be leaving as quickly as possible. Staying around is more risky than not. You actually try and throw out damage. I'm not sure what for. What you were aiming for here? What were you aiming for? Just a wasted ultimate. And you're still hanging. I don't know why you're hanging. You're not safe at all. And now Freya comes in the back. Thought you should have called that. Should have been aware of it. You try and get the pick on Ra. Will you get it? Oh. Just chase. Just chase. Just chase. Don't back up. You got speed buff. You got speed buff. You got speed buff. Even the slow, you can still continue the chasing. Okay, so already the game started to fall apart for you as a team. The invades have happened so often because of the fact that you've not had lane pressure at all in these lanes. Geb's still level 4, which is just unfortunate. He's not soaked experience at all. Don't be scared, Geb, to go into your jungle and take back harpies all the time. They're looking for your red buff now. This is risky at a level 4 Geb. Maybe you can make something happen here, but I'm not 100% sure you can. You're trying to contest it with no mana. Sylvanas is going to come in as well. Vulcan's not here. Doesn't have ultimate because he just used it to try and randomly snipe the Ra. It's not going to help out. You're going to get away for now though, but you lose red buff again. Apollo's actually dunking down here. Is he really going to go in on this? Nah. Oh, he is. Wow. Good shield. Good shield. Did we not have shockwave? Why didn't we shockwave that? We shockwave that. He's dead. Shield shockwave. He was dead then. Oh, good. Rama can clean up. Snipe boys. Snipe boys. Blind snipe boys. Yeah. Take it. I wasn't fully blind, but it was a nice snipe. Oh, I paused that by mistake. So, why is this game going so rough for you guys? Well, you actually got harpies twice on the right, which is good. The problem is that you're all not farming enough. That's the big key. This jungler isn't managing to rotate to the lanes enough to make sure he gets the farm. He should be in mid lane more often just to make sure he can soak this experience and catch himself up, especially when his buff's down. Geb at the same time is not managing to get on the farm sheet at all. He's too busy warding when he should be in lane. He's still level 4 right now. Still level 4. Has to farm more. What are we doing here? What's our game plan, buddy? What's our game plan? Get in this wave. Get in this wave. Look at what's happened now. You've come to the lane and there's no experience again. So you're still level 4. Vulcan in mid lane, you've done okay. I just feel like you're getting picked under your tower too much. You're staying around when you're low and there's nothing else for you to really do. So I'm not sure why you're choosing to stay in this situation. What if we've maxed as well? We've maxed out one. Okay, maxing one's fine. Gank on the left hand side coming out. Thor, you need to be very careful of this Freya. Just back out. There's a rotation coming in from Ra. You've got a ward to see this is coming as well, so you should be backing out immediately. Still, Geb's only level 4, which is not good. He should be level 5, really. Snipes, he should be dead. Yeah, there's nothing you can do against that sort of play. Didn't mean to bring that up. We'll just put that back down. Volcanote comes in on the back looking for something. Not really going to find anything, though. Yeah, this game's pretty much over from this point on. There's not much else to really discuss in it. It's one of these ones that is very difficult for me to analyse because of how it started. The big mistakes, honestly, You're warding to try and defend yourselves, which is great. But the problem is that you need to work out, because it's a team game. You have to think about picks and bans. You have to think about picks and bans and what's going to happen in the game. A lot of this is going to come down to the jungler Trukax, because what Trukax needs to do is realize what his lanes are going to be up to in terms of winning or losing the lane in terms of push power. If they get the early push on with Sylvanas Apollo like that, they will invade. Ra in mid lane gonna push in the Vulcan early on and put the pressure on. The only one that was good was Chuck versus Loki. So that means you should be rotating earlier as Thor to show presence in these lanes and help them push it back out. It also means you get experience, so if you do get invaded, you can still soak it. Every time you come back to lane though, Geb, you need to be trying to get these back harpies every single time. And make sure you stay in lane for the farm as well, because I feel like you're not in range of the farm every single time I see that. You're just never going to be in range, so it's very, very difficult to trying to do this one, honestly, to try and do it. So that's all I'm going to do on this one. It's not because I don't want to do more. It's just going to cripple you now because you're all so far behind. This game is already over. It sounds brutal for me to say that, but they're going to get the Gold Fury for free now. Geb's still only level 5. I mean, and compared to the enemy support, it's like 3 levels ahead already. This is just down to farm more than anything else. It's down to farm and not soaking it. You've got to get the farm going a little bit more. Think about your lanes. If you're going to play as a team, what I'd advise you guys to do to improve as a team is pick lanes that are going to win more often than not. Pick lanes that are going to win. Try and get Sylvanas on the team. If you can't get Sylvanas, pick Ymir. Ymir can push this lane out as well. Ram is fine though, but you could look for Ymir. You could look for someone with great push power in that. In mid lane, Vulcan's pretty good, but up against the Ra, it's quite difficult. Ra is one of those that does have really good push power. You could look at Poseidon as well as another one that's good. Ra, we just said. Chuck's fine in the solo lane for the most part. He's got okay sustain in that lane. He's not really going to get pushed in by too many gods. It's just going to be a farm off in the solo lane, which is what you expect to see. Thor in the jungle is great for the early game. But if you're not going to abuse that early game, I've not seen you use your ultimate once yet at level 9 at 9 minutes in. I think what you probably should have done is look for something that's going to be more farm heavy and orientated. If you look for that and then look for the later stages of the game, look to farm and clear your own jungle out. Look to farm your lanes as much as possible and try and work on your compositions, honestly, and just make sure you've got ones that are push power heavy just to get used to it. Because once you're used to having the push, then you'll be able to see what happens when you do have the push and how you can invade and abuse that. Then once you've learned that, you can then learn what's going to push against you and how to counteract the push. But having both this duo lane and this lane being weaker in terms of it, Thor should have rotated a lot earlier, and they should have been aware that that was an opportunity for them to try and steal this red buff away, and maybe thought about what you could do in response. Thor, you could have invaded on that red buff early on in the game. It's a 4 versus Freya matchup, so you do have a lot of damage there. You could have even tried to invade the speed buff in response as well, but I would probably have gone for the red, honestly, just because you had Chak on that side of the map and a low-key Thor versus a Chak versus a Freya. Low-key Chak. No, Thor Chak. Oh my god. Thor Chak versus a Loki Freya. You should win that matchup at contesting that red buff. And obviously rotating early and soaking experience in mid. You rotated left. You tried to soak experience there. Oh, you tried to gank there and change your mind. And then you came mid and didn't really get a gank off easy. So hopefully that gives you some sort of like heads up about what you can do to improve. Good luck in it though. Good luck.